One, greetings, readers and travelers, and welcome to another episode of Stats on Stats, a lit RPG podcast. My name is Richie Stevens, and I want to start off by saying it is good to be back. We took a little bit of a hiatus there. A lot has changed. I moved, as you can tell. Joel. I should start off by saying my co-host Joel Harvey. Joel, how are we doing today?
I'm here. Hi. I'm doing fantastic, and glad to get this show back
Don't
on
lie.
the road.
You enjoy.
Also, I enjoy sharing amazing books with everyone. So,
That's true. We do like enjoying the books and everything. And joining us for the very first time, and someone I have interacted with quite a bit on Twitter. Buds, how are we doing today? I forgot to even say your
Man.
name. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
It's all good. Hey, so I'm Joker Buds, man, but I'm Honer. I'm just one of three co-hosts. I'm the one that actually checks into lit RPGs. The other one is just nerdy, but
All right, we got to get them involved with the nerdiness and everything too. So if you're new to the show, we start off with kind of our little introductions. Today we're going to be discussing Vigil's Bound, Book 1, Vigil's Justice. To the description here in a minute. But few little housekeeping things really quickly. We are going to be doing a new formula for the show. If you watched any of our previous episodes, either with Kale or Dennis, we kind of cut back on this way too much. And by we, I mean me. That's kind of how I talk, and I'm trying to be a little bit more oriented. So we will be doing uncensored on Twitch because I have no way. But on YouTube and the podcast apps, once we get those uploaded and everything, I will be doing editing and writing down times for when I'm gonna quite often. Yeah, like we're just gonna have to censor it out. So you'll get a few bleeps, or I don't know. We'll figure something creative, maybe a ding for a stat sheet. Hold on real quick because this system is really upsetting me. Anyways, welcome to Stats. We have one going on right now. It is live on our Twitter. All you have to do is follow us on Twitter, Twitch. So all 5 books in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series on Audible. We have the codes already. Everything's been purchased, and it's funny. So if you want something humorous and everything, your mic is cutting out quite heavily. I don't like. Is the mic cutting out for you?
my mic keeps cutting out.
How about now? Let's try this. We love tech issues. We love tech issues.
Yeah, I was like, man, I couldn't hear you guys at all.
No? Are we not good?
No, I can't hear anything. Hold on, let me see something.
I don't think that caught.
Oh, no. We love tech issues. Damn it. Hunter, try talking for me. Okay, there we go. Oh no.
All right, let me see this.
All right, can you hear us? Because we can hear you. You are muted. You somehow muted yourself. There we go. Okay.
Okay, I muted myself.
All right, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I'm just trying not to get your audio playing over the audio. Can you hear you, or is it good?
No, I can hear you. You can hear me. So that's good. Now,
Okay.
so it might do the weird thing. I have no idea. So we're gonna restart everything real quick. So, greetings, readers and travelers, for the second time. My name is Richie Stevens, and I'm the host of Stats on Stats, a Lit RPG podcast. We're back live and ready to go. Of course, as you can tell, I'm sitting next to my co-host Joel Harvey. We're in the same room. We haven't done that in a few months, but that's actually going to be the formula for now because we're living in the same town. Joel Harvey, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Glad to be back. Glad to share these amazing books with people. Yeah.
All right, we love to see it. And joining us for the first time, Honer with Drunk with Buds. Honer, how are you doing today?
Yeah. Hey guys, glad to be here, and I'm glad you guys can hear me. I'm glad I can hear you now. So I'm Drunken Buds, right? So I'm just one of 3 co-hosts. I'm just a lit RPG guy. The other ones are just nerdy and into sports and whatever.
Hey,
But I'm the one you want to talk to.
okay, well, hey, nothing wrong with being nerdy or being into sports. I kind of am into sports. I
Yeah,
say
I'm
it
a nerd
very
too.
loosely. I say it very loosely. So, because we had audio issues at the start of the stream, I'm going to run back through everything. And our mic keeps cutting out for some reason. All right. Maybe now? Okay.
I can hear you now.
Okay, hold on. We might need to get a new mic.
He just doesn't care for those
All right.
giveaways.
No, it doesn't want to listen to us at all. Honer, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
All right. Because I think I got it. I think I got it figured out. I'm hoping I got it figured out. Fingers crossed, because I'm going to throw this mic out the window. So, we're going to be doing a giveaway. Right now we have one live on Twitter. If you go and follow us on Twitter over at Stats on Stats Lit, follow us on Twitch, comment with a screenshot showing that you're following us on Twitch to our Twitter post and everything. That way it enters you into the raffle. You get a chance to win books 1 through 5 of Dungeon Crawler Carl. That's all 5 books in the series so far. And that's probably, what, a good 60-ish hours of audio content right there?
Yeah.
And over...
Probably more than that.
I would say probably about $70 worth of books.
Yeah.
If not more.
That's a good deal right there.
It is a good deal. And it's narrated by the amazing Jeff Hayes, and he brings so much life to these characters. It's great. But that's not the topic we're talking about right now. Today we're going to be discussing James A. Hunter's newest series, Vigil Bound. Vigil's Justice, Book 1. Vigil's Justice, Book 1 in the Vigil Bound series. And this is... oh boy, this is a series.
Yeah.
And we all 3 did the audiobook version because I got the audiobook for Joel and myself, and then I actually gifted Honer here with book 1 in the series as well.
You did. You're a real one. You're a real one, man.
I try my best.
Appreciate you.
So, Joel Harvey.
Yeah.
You want to kick us off a little bit?
Yeah. So James A. Hunter, he's been in the lit RPG community for some time now, almost as to, like whenever it started popping off. So you might have heard of Viridian Gate or Rogue Dungeon, but yeah, Rogue Dungeon was good. Viridian Gate was amazing.
He has some other ones.
Yeah.
I gotta look him up real quick. I can't remember the name. I know we have the first one on file, but go ahead and continue.
Yeah. So, I absolutely love the mechanics of everything, and I
Don't
feel
forget
like
Bibliomancer.
yeah, he also wrote Bibliomancer. I feel like I need that limitless potential feel in my mechanics, and Viridian Gate kind of has a Diablo 2 mechanic where like you have a tree and you like grab like whatever skill in whatever tree, but the main character only uses like 6 abilities ish.
Which is kind of what we do when we play Diablo 2, is use 6 abilities ish.
Don't get me wrong, like the series is amazing, but it doesn't have that limitless potential feel in its mechanics where like Vigil's Justice, oh boy. Like it's more okay, so Vigil's Justice is kind of reminds me of Witcher
Yeah. Well, in here, hold on, real
for
quick.
a lot of the stuff, but
Because in the description it says for fans of, and I want to make sure I read it correctly. One of his posts that he said that, oh yeah, here we go. It's an urban fantasy mixed with The Witcher plus a badass angel of vengeance with guns. Michael Chatfield, best-selling author of the Ten Realms series. So if you have Michael Chatfield, who writes some of the best book series out there, saying, "Hey, this is what it's good for," there's no way we can top that.
Trap Mind Project was amazing.
Trap Mind Project was amazing, but we're talking James's stuff.
We are. All in all, what I was trying to get at is it is awesome to see James do this new series where the mechanics feel limitless, and I am super excited for where this series is going.
It's gonna be a really good series because by the time we get to the end of book 1,
yeah.
So I mean, so Honer, let's go ahead and start with
Yeah.
you. This is what, your third Lit RPG?
So I've read at least or listened to 4 or 5 of the Rogue Dungeons,
Okay.
and those I fell in love with. I was just like, dude, that's just genius. And then I didn't want to finish it before the last final book came out.
No, go ahead. Continue. Sorry.
And so I just wanted to make sure that I had the full series completed before I even got started on the last or final or oh my god, what is the fucking book?
Rogue Dungeon.
Yeah, I'm talking about like the one right before the ending. I was like, I wanted to make sure the last book actually came out before I completed that book.
For Dungeon Duel?
So then I didn't have anything, like an empty space. I was like, I like this so much, I don't want it to end, so I want the last book to come out so I can actually continue it and then finish it, but it's not on Audible yet. So I'm like, that one's on the back burner for right now.
Oh, Dungeon Duel is phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's my favorite book
I'm
in the
on that
series.
one right now.
But Celestial Citadel, I couldn't wait. I love Nick Podell and I'm gonna buy it when it comes out, but I picked up a physical copy of it and I loved it. Oh, and
It's so trippy too, though. It kind of reminds me of Free Guy, you know,
a little bit, and it gets
I mean,
a little
but
bit
it happened
more.
before that.
Yeah,
it happened before that, but I mean, like, it was kind of cool to be like, oh man, James Hunter did the freaking series about this. Ryan Reynolds, you ain't nothing, dude.
So, and you just started the Completionist Chronicles, right? Ritualist?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I got like 9 hours left, I believe.
So here,
It's good so far, though.
What I will tell you is once you finish book 1, you can go ahead and start Bibliomancer. It's from a different character's point of view, at the very like before
It
Joe
also
even
takes
joins the
place
game.
Before Joe.
Yeah, it takes place before Joe, but just you'll want to learn about Joe because it kind of crosses events a little bit. So,
Yeah.
but that's also by James Hunter, and he worked with Dakota
Okay.
Crown on that. It's really good, and Nick Podell narrates that one. And there's 2 books
Oh
in that
my
series.
god, that's my guy right there, dude. But
Nick
I
Podell
was gonna
does a great
say,
job.
about Vigil's Justice that it wasn't my favorite.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I'm
It
just
is-
gonna get that out of the way.
And
Forewarning.
We'll go into the like what we liked, what we didn't like aspect here in just a minute.
Yeah.
But initial thoughts, it was good. It wasn't my favorite
Yeah.
James Hunter project, but I think there's a lot that goes into. I'm a little partial because I really like Rogue Dungeon, and Rogue Dungeon is probably my favorite of.
See, I'm like the exact opposite. Like, I'm totally down with saying,
Oh,
I love this series. Like, I think this is going to be one of
but
his
Viridian
best
Gate
works.
Online 1 is probably my favorite book that he's done.
Okay, yeah. Viridian Gate was really good to start.
Because Dark Paladins.
Oh, yeah.
Like a Dark Paladin is just a badass. I mean, that's I've done a Dark Paladin build on D&D, so that's where I'm like, yeah, this is cool. So
This reminds me. Real quick side note. Have you guys ever heard of solo leveling?
Yes. He's got the book.
Yeah. Dude, they're so good.
they are.
No, those I listen to. Yeah, I'm like almost caught up on that one.
No, we
I
have our
love that
bookshelf right here, so I'm like, anytime we bring up something, I'm like, I got it. So
That's awesome.
let's go ahead and dive in a little bit. I'm gonna just read the description off of Kindle about what the book's about, and we'll discuss what we liked, what we didn't like, etc. So, magic weapons, deadly monsters, epic quest, all just another day in the life of a Marines and qualified for the elite force recon. He found a tribe and a family, so when a hand grenade landed near his team, he jumped on it without a thought. But instead of winding up dead, he wakes up butt naked in a cave full of monsters with a knife in one hand and a pistol in the other. He's been chosen by Ragul, Five-Faith's god of justice, and entrusted with the power of the Vigil's bond. Every kill makes him stronger, and thanks to the Ascendant system, Boyd can level up, unlock increasingly powerful spells, and even harness the abilities of monsters he's been dispatched to hunt. If he can survive the deadly shapeshifter stalking him from the shadows, Boyd's second life promises to be even more ass-kickingly epic than his first. And oh boy. So, like a lot of lit RPGs when it's focused around a military main character that gets either isekai'd or whatever, it starts off with something tragic happening. Either they sacrifice themselves to make sure their teammates live, alive by a mimic. There's a lot of military main characters when it comes to lit RPGs, and there's nothing wrong with that. I want to start by saying there's nothing wrong with that. I like having a good military main character because they're tactical, they're useful with their weapons, and it's just a fun time.
I also just want to like throw in there that I love it when authors use their life experience when they're writing their books, because I know James served, right?
James served. I believe Dakota did as well.
Dakota did as well.
And
yeah.
Was Aaron Michael?
Whenever they like use their life experiences to write a book, it makes it feel so much better. Just more in depth and real.
So, we start off. They're in Fallujah. Is it Fallujah that they're in at the beginning? They talk about Fallujah a lot, so that's why I'm like, I get the places mixed up. But we start off with them on a mission, and it goes south really quickly. It goes tits up. A couple of his squad mates die. The grenade gets thrown in. He lands on it, and then he just kind of looks down and sees his guts pouring out. Pretty gruesome start for a lit RPG. This isn't one I would recommend to kids. Or I would say probably maybe 16 and above. I wouldn't really recommend this to like a teenage, like middle schooler or anything, because
Yeah, it's not a bedtime story.
no. But in a lot of the lit RPG groups on Facebook, a lot of people will say, "Hey, what's a good lit RPG for like my kids to start reading and everything?" And usually, the most common one is the Completionist Chronicles. After the first chapter or so, after his incident, because it's dark and gruesome there. It's really dark in the beginning of the Completionist Chronicles. This book and over here though, James just makes it go dark.
Yeah.
And I love dark. I love having a good dark story because I live for the darkness, the humor, or not the humor. I mean, there is some humor in this book, but like just the emotional turmoil and the grittiness.
Yeah,
I love it.
I think it just shows like how much of a badass Boyd is. Grenade, and he's still like fighting off like
Yeah,
things coming for him.
but he also cares about his team because
Oh yeah,
his squad mate dies, and he's like, "No, I want him back," because they were going to give him a spirit guide, and he goes, "I just want Cal back."
yeah.
So he gets
Cam.
him, or it's not Cal.
Cam?
No, I'll look it up. I'm getting names
His
crossed.
buddy's
and
name is
everything.
Cal.
It is Cal. Okay, I
Is it
thought
Cal?
so.
I thought that's Cal.
Because I said Cal,
Yeah.
and I instantly thought of Divine Dungeon.
Well, he reminds me a lot of. Oh, come on.
I promise
Ferris
you, we're...
Bueller's Day Off.
Cameron.
Cameron?
Yeah.
That's what he reminds me of a lot. So that's why I thought Cam. And I was like. No,
Well, he
it's-
reminds me a
it's
little bit of Cal too, like in the early Divine Dungeon series. So
Yeah.
it's there. There's a lot of good similarities, and it's just
Yeah, and
it's
I
such a
really
fun
like
time.
how he did choose like Cal. He's like, dude, I don't need a spirit guide. I'll use my buddy. And his buddy's like, dude, you're an idiot.
Yeah, you're just
It's
an
like-
idiot, man.
You don't know what we're doing. I was like, all right, cool. I'm about it.
But so he has his celestial part, or his spirit guide. Essentially,
Yeah.
that's what Cal's purpose is he's a spirit guide. I love having a good spirit guide. Not a lot of books use the spirit guide aspect. They usually have like just the snarky AI or, just a witty companion. They don't ever really have that like
Yeah.
spirit,
I think-
or not spiritual, but like
Ryan
Ghostly.
DeBorlin's, the ancestor.
Equalizer,
Yeah, Equalizer.
Ether Collapse.
Or, yeah.
Too many series.
But, yeah, there's a spirit guide in that one.
So, Hunter, why don't you start us off with what did you really like about the story?
Oof. Let me dig down deep to find that. So, honestly, first off, right, I didn't really feel a connection with the voice, the narrator.
Ooh.
Daniel.
I
Luke
thought it was a
Daniels.
little too, yeah, I thought it was a
Alright.
little too like Southern, and I don't know. It took me out a little bit.
So I'll go ahead and give you the heads up now, since that's that's one of your complaints. Luke Daniels does take over for the Completionist Chronicles. Trust me, I had
Okay,
that same
but-
reaction. There's a whole thing that goes into it where I'm not
Okay.
going to discuss it,
Okay,
but
if
Luke is one of those voices that grows on you. Because I was
Okay,
the
I was
same
gonna
way.
say-
You can tell. You can ask.
Okay,
Joe.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
the way that he did his voice in this one, I was kind of like, oh man, I don't really like the Southern twang type of characters at all usually. And then I was just like, I don't know, nothing about this guy is really connecting or doing anything. And then all of a sudden, his other partners and everything were even more out there, and I'm like, oh.
There is a
I
lot of
didn't
world
really-
building and character building
Yeah.
in this.
So, but I will say this, obviously cutting way forward, but I'm saying like I am excited for the second one. So this doesn't have anything to do with that.
Right.
I'm just saying like I was just taken aback by that. I was like, dang man, I wish this guy was not this guy, but I got through it, didn't I?
You got through it. And with this being your introduction to Luke Daniels, I don't think this was the best one for your introduction to Luke. I would have,
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it. But he does take over for the Completionist Chronicles. That's where it really started to shine for me, because I tried listening to other series that he did, and I had to go back to them once his voice actually grew on me, because
Okay.
I couldn't do it.
One of the things that I really like
speak
about one of the things that I really like about that series is when they do a character change, it's actually canon. Like Joe's ears pop,
Yeah.
and also I just love his voice for Jackson.
So the way I look at Luke Daniels, he does a really good gunslinger.
Oh yeah,
He does a very good
Yeah.
gunslinger.
Yes.
And he does, with the way he does Boyd, once you're used to it, like when you get a little more used to it, go back and listen to this. I promise you'll have a different outlook on it. You said
I can see that.
You've listened to Nick Podell, and I believe it's Armin Taylor who does VGO.
Yeah.
Yeah, Armin Taylor.
Ross Adams.
No, Vikas Adams is Completionist, which he's listening to right now. So yeah,
that's
you're
what I'm
getting
saying.
used to Vikas. But Armin and Nick and Luke, all three different like tastes when it comes to narrators. Luke is an amazing narrator, and he's actually become one of my favorites. It took me a little bit to warm up to him, and I had to
Right.
find that right story for it. And you will get there with the Completionist Chronicles, because he takes over for Rexus, which is like book 2.5/3, and it's all about Jackson.
Okay.
That's where it really picked for me.
Okay. That reminds me that you said his name is Luke Daniels. And he's a good gunslinger, has a southern twang, man. He sounds like a country singer.
I think he was just on an episode of not Family Guy, American Dad. Yeah, he does a lot of voice work now.
Dang,
like he's
okay.
popular. He's in demand. Like,
Was he the old man?
no, he just did a voice on one of the newest episodes, because I saw him post on Facebook about it. I was like, wow, am I going to tune into American Dad? And I still haven't watched it yet.
Maybe one day, you gotta slow
got-
slipper.
No, I mean I haven't watched American Dad, and I can tell you how long, but I would watch
Yeah,
the
me
newest
neither.
episode just to hear Luke Daniels. So, what did you think of Boyd's character as a whole?
He okay. From what I recall, like I said, there's a lot to take in. He seemed like a badass, but he also had no idea what was going on half the time either. So I was kind of like, I don't know what's going on either. So we both didn't know. And so I was just like, I thought it was okay, a little bit, but I felt like it took a little too long for him to actually start getting better.
Okay.
And so I feel like usually in the other books, they're like, oh, cool, I learned right away, and boom, 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 start, kind of becoming OP and whatnot. I don't remember. I remember him kind of taking a little while. Is that what happened? Am I remembering that correctly?
It does. I mean, it's a very slow burn for him. It's not super like heavy action and him using his abilities like right off the bat. I would say probably he has a few fights in the beginning, but nothing really big happens until I want to say like halfway, 3/4 of the book through. It's a really slow burn when it comes to the book, which it being the first book in the series. It's got a lot of world building. We meet a lot of characters, and we learn about his different abilities that he gets, but he has more of a different mission than what most of our MCs will encounter on their adventures. So
Right.
with him being pretty much a celestial chosen or a deity chosen champion, there's a lot. And Zekor just commented, it can be a slog when they go slow burn in a lit RPG. And it can. It really can. But it's not always a bad thing.
Yeah, sometimes it's definitely worth it to if it has that like limitless mechanic feel that I was talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Like that slow burn is totally worth it when there's limitless potential, if
Yeah.
you ask me.
No, and there's a lot of like world building. I mean, and I think a lot of us got spoiled when it came to like their first lit RPGs, either being the Completionist Chronicles, Rogue Dungeon, or the Land, because the characters get a lot of abilities like right off the bat.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that it can be a little overwhelming. So slow burn lit RPGs are always welcome in my book if done correctly, and this is one of the ones that is done correctly in my opinion. James did a great
I think
job. Go ahead.
I think what also might have affected my enjoyment, obviously, is the voice. So then maybe that's why it also the slow burn on top of that just made me like, okay, hurry up and get to something. And I think halfway through, I did start liking it a little bit more. I started getting into it and all that. The relationship with him and the fairy and everything, the pixie. I was like, okay, this is growing on me. That started getting a little bit more entertaining instead of just like, oh, this is happening and that's it.
I'm picturing him opening the door and the pixie going, well, it's polite to knock in most areas of the world. Well,
Yeah, he was getting.
he's getting freaky. So
I honestly totally forgot about the pixie that fell out.
when you go back, and I never recommend this, so bear with me on this. Speed it up. I normally listen at 1.0, like just basic speed. When I did my re-listen, I did 1.2. And it worked a lot better.
Yeah. So like where it picked up for me personally is whenever he gets to the training area in I forget what it's actually called.
In the town or the church?
The church.
Okay.
Yeah. And he starts like opening up like what all he has to do to gain more power. And yeah, that's for me is when it started to really pick up. And then from there,
It's funny.
He goes
I'm
on
sorry.
to
Go on.
fight a bunch of shit.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's funny that you said that because when I did that tweet about who listens to what speed, whatnot,
Yeah.
I actually started cranking it up, like the fairy.
Yeah.
But I was going about like 1.5, 15. I almost made it 1.2.
Mm-hmm.
I was like 1.15 sounds good. His voice isn't as bad, blah blah blah. But it made it a little bit better. And I've actually started listening to audiobooks like that since that. I was like, boom, hey, this makes it go quicker too.
See, I power through them so quickly, I want to enjoy them. It all comes down to the narrator for me. And Luke Daniels, I actually never really speed up. This is the first time I've actually found speeding it up helped my enjoyment a little bit more. Because there were a lot of pauses and stuff within the series. Or not the series, but just like his narration, there was just a lot more pausing and then, and thus, and going. It's just like, it felt like the pauses were a little too, or more frequent.
Exaggerated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I sped it up to 1.2, and it wasn't that bad. It wasn't. I never speeded up. I think the only other book I've sped up was Equalize, which was another Luke Daniels. So Luke Daniels is the only one I actually do speed up, now that I think about it. I don't do it for Completionist.
I figured it'd be something I recommended.
It was either Equalize or Red Mage.
I mean, I did recommend those, but
Yeah. Hold on. Zekler said, I agree. If I have a narrator's voice I'm not a fan of, speeding it up can change it to be more bearable. I think I don't ever want to say there's a bad narrator, because I don't believe there are. Voice work is a hard job, and I respect them going in and doing the job. So I don't want to say that, or I don't want to disrespect any narrators by saying they're bad or anything like that. There are some narrators that are just not for me, though.
Yeah. I think speed's definitely a hard balance
It is a hard drug
to strike.
Oh, okay.
But as someone who's never done narration, I can't really say anything. because I don't know how hard it is.
I tried it. I dabbled my foot in it, and it is a hard job. So I have nothing but the utmost respect for him.
Where's the download link?
No, not yet. I already have Zach Johnson asking me for more, so I can probably start up again. But it's an anxiety thing for me. So I don't know if that'll be a thing anytime soon or anything. So, but like Zach Lord can tell you, he sat in on a couple of sessions with me, and it is rough because I get frustrated really quickly. So the bloopers would be funny, but oh boy, no.
Yeah, they had bloopers. This is the first one I saw that had bloopers.
I think Luke normally does bloopers.
Luke's normally does have bloopers,
which are hysterical.
Because he sucks. Just kidding.
For the completion of Chronicles, I think around Ruthless was when, or after Ray's.
I don't know.
I think it was Ruthless. That's when he gets the bloopers, and the ones for Dakota are really good because he's even like yelling at Dakota like, what is this word? What are you making me read? Now Luke has some really good bloopers. So where were we? So we got your opinion on about
Vigil's
Boyd.
Justice.
No, we're talking Vigil's Justice, Joel.
Let's talk about his weapon upgrading and.
Well, let's talk about his weapons first. His main weapons are a knife
and
a pistol
to start with, yeah,
and a Colt 1911.
Yeah, which is unique.
Makes me want to play zombies.
In any other,
it just makes me want to play zombies,
right? Lit RPGs, but
you don't get a lot of gun usage in lit RPGs.
Yeah, that's why I was excited to read it. Honestly,
it's
the
a
gunplay
Witcher world with gun.
Yeah,
gunplay.
Because it's a fantasy world, and they didn't have any other firearms.
Nah,
it was just his gun.
Yeah,
and he's like, I'm just gonna shoot shit. Because why not? Let's shoot some shit. Like, that's the best way to describe it, right?
Yeah,
basically.
Mean, he's a soldier, so
yeah,
that makes sense.
I mean, I could see him, taking me back to Modern Warfare 2 days, having the attack knife, pistol here, knife here.
Yeah, that and I think the first thing he gets is like a mace.
Yeah.
Which was
it is a mace?
Yeah,
yeah.
He gets the like spikes or whatever.
But he really goes to town on some enemies.
Oh yeah.
But I wouldn't expect I wouldn't have it a James Hunter book without a lot of violence. Because there needs to be violence in a James Hunter book, because you gotta have some main characters that just beat the shit out of everything. Yeah. Gotta use that brute force.
I'm just remembering the fight with the what are they? They're like the grass like frog things that he fights, and he just like gets attacked by one of their tongs and just like rips into it. I'm just
God. At least it wasn't bunnies. I'm glad there was no bunnies in this one.
Right.
You will find in Lit RPG a lot of main mobs are sometimes just rabbits.
The one I just he literally just got done fighting a zombie.
Oh, completionist.
The zombie rabbit.
Yeah, outside.
Yeah. Oh, so when you said that, I was like, yeah, so far.
Oh, there's a lot of good ones that have some good rabbits in them. So, but weapon upgrading, Joel, take us away because you're the mechanic expert.
Oh yeah,
it's all you.
Yeah, so basically he gets materials from killing monsters and upgrades his weapon with them, and it kind of reminded me a lot of like Monster Hunter. When you like go out,
don't say Monster Hunter. Zeckler's in the chat.
You go out, you fight the monster, and you bring back their parts and make awesome weapons with them. And that makes me happy. Doesn't he like make a shotgun or something?
I think so.
Yeah.
Zeckler just says, "Go on."
But yeah. So that mixed with like his gunplay aspect.
What about his spells?
Yeah. What about his spells?
You're the expert. What spell did you like that he used?
Well, one thing I really love is at the beginning whenever he gets the ability to change his stuff and things.
Stuff and items?
His points that he allocates.
Oh, his attributes?
Yeah. For his different spells. I know he gets the what spells does he get? Because I know he gets the pact magic with the fairy, and then he uses oh, come on, help me out.
I'm going through the Kindle right now to find it. Cuz there's a lot of names. Talk about the bounty system real quick.
The bounty system?
Yeah, he gets bounties, and those are really kind of like his quests.
Well, I know that his teacher, the like priest, what starts with an A, Arturus or something like that.
Is it like Artulo or
Yeah,
something like that?
it's a weird
Something
name.
like that.
It's a really weird name. But
He takes him and trains him.
right. But here, like I'm looking right here. So his thing is, it says bounty, dark lair. A pack of bile crave ghouls have nested in this location. Kill them, harvest their essence, and avenge those who have been slain by the monstrous beast. Reward
Is that
150 essence, 5 ward points. That's his quest system.
That was like at the very beginning when he's fighting the like goblin thingies.
Yep, that's when he first gets in after
Yeah.
being summoned and everything.
Yeah.
And
So
then-
he really only has like 2 bounties, I think, because it's that one and the Hex Blight,
Yes.
which is the main like villain, and even then it's like super vague, which I honestly like because it reminds me a lot of like Witcher, where you have to like go out and collect the clues and stuff.
right.
Because he doesn't know like what this thing is, how it's like attacking the people in the city, and he has to.
It can disguise himself as anyone in the city, and he even talks to his priest mentor and goes, "Are you the monster I'm
Right.
supposed to be hunting? Like, are
and he
you
thinks
playing
it's,
with
like,
me here?"
A shapeshifter at the beginning, and it turns out to be this like Hex Blight. But yeah,
Terror of Ironmore, is that what it is?
is that the bounty?
Deadly Mordka with powerful abilities. Disposable prowls the streets of Ironmore, which is the town he's in.
Yeah, I think the bounty system is what reminded me a lot of like Witcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Michael Chatfield said in his review, that it is The Witcher. It is essentially The Witcher, and it's. But instead of a crossbow, he uses a 1911.
It's just really cool how he merges the two mechanics of like bounty hunting with Witcher and like upgrading your weapons and stuff like Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, looking forward to like where this series is gonna go. I am super excited.
Arbitrator Arturo is the
Arturo, yeah.
is the priest.
okay.
He's the arbitrator, which acts as his mentor. He's a badass, actually. I really liked his character.
I did really like his character.
Okay, but did anyone think that Luke sounded like Nick playing the orc in Rogue Dungeon when he was doing that voice?
For Arturo?
For Arturo? No.
Yeah.
He didn't really remind.
Yeah.
Nah, he didn't give off Kaz vibes. He gave off more of like an elderly man vibe. I
was like, man, Kaz is in here. Cool. I was about it.
But I like the characteristics of his character sheet too, because he had brawn, verb, finesse, arcana, and insight. It's not strength,
Yeah.
dexterity, and stuff like that. It's where we would see it on a normal sheet. And then he has his wards, so Ward of Justice, Ward of Valor, Ward of Wrath, Ward of Balance, and Ward of Truth, which are his boons that he gets from the gods.
Right.
Which
that's his.
He's also that's another thing that like we don't get a lot of in lit RPG. We get some that have like are very heavy on the deity aspect, and then like granting some boons here and there. This one he gets 5 boons,
Yeah.
and one of his boons is the boon of choice.
Oh yeah.
He lets him
That's
pick.
the
Yeah.
fate one I was talking about, where he can reallocate his spells that he picked, and yeah.
So, we've actually kind of already gone over what we liked and what we didn't really like. So let's dive into a little bit of the spoiler territory. I'm going to keep my opinions to myself.
Yeah, why don't you go and talk about character turmoils and your normal stuff that you
Because I didn't
talk
really
about.
connect to the characters in this one.
Okay.
And that's a hard thing for me to say. And that's why I haven't really touched base on it, because it's not that it's the characters just didn't speak to me in any way. Like Boyd is a great character. He's not my preferred type character though. There
Okay.
wasn't really anyone that had that like emotional turmoil. Like if we look at Rorik
Yeah.
in the Rogue Dungeon series, he's ripped away from his family. You know, his family is killed in front of him and he's trying to avenge them. I don't usually, connect to the military type characters.
Yeah. And
Yeah, me neither.
I feel like if we would have like served, like this
Yeah.
book would have hit a lot differently. And one thing that I do really like as far as character goes is his relationship with Cal.
His relationship with Cal is really good, and that's the only connection I really had to the character. But when it comes to like the military main characters, it's hard for me to connect to them because both my dad and my brother were in the military. Mm-hmm. My dad would take me to movies, military movies, like he took me to American Sniper, Act of Valor, a few others. But that was their thing. That wasn't him and I's thing. We didn't really connect. I'm not big on going out, shooting guns. Like, yeah, I'll go out to the range every once in a while, fire off. But like, I have a lot of vivid memories of my brother saying, "Oh yeah, you need to join. You need to join. You need to join. You need to join." I'm the one in my family that I'm not the military guy. So like, anytime there's like a military MC, it kind of turns it off for me a little bit. Until the character starts to grow. Like Joe, like it didn't turn me off at all. Like it was bad. Like if I felt bad for the character.
Yeah.
Joe's one of my favorite main characters. In a
Well, I
book.
think you connected with like his wife leaving.
The
and,
relationship
like,
aspect.
yeah.
That one, yes. Where Boyd, we don't get really any of the relationship aspects or anything with him. Like he has his little thing for the bard.
He's definitely more focused on kicking ass than falling in love. But
Yep.
that's-
Zeckler just said, if James can make Poner Boner a lovable character, he can fix anyone. And that is true. Shout out to my boy Scott Bayani.
oh boy. Dude.
Boner, man.
Okay, one
What a guy.
character that I didn't like was the fairy.
I hated the pixie.
Oh,
I
dude,
hate that
he
damn
was
character so much.
Annoying. I don't know if he can fix him, but I believe he can.
Yeah, once the
It's just-
pixie started, man, I was
Oh,
just
God.
really, I was like, hopefully he doesn't stick around.
Oh,
He
God.
did.
He did.
And it's not a turn off. There's a lot of other stuff in the book that's really good. It's just, God, I hate that damn character so much.
Yeah.
Like I don't wish death upon a character, but I'm slowly wishing death upon the pixie.
I don't know. He kind of right up there with that guy from One Piece.
Longnose,
Yeah.
Uick or whatever, Eunuch,
Usopp.
Usopp. Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
God damn it, fucking Usopp. I know it started with a U.
We do meet a lot of super
The Bardess was awesome.
yeah,
She's
aggressive women, I guess I want to say,
We love a good powerful woman in a book.
which yeah.
Respectfully, we love a good like strong woman character. Respectfully, this is
Strong woman.
We don't need, or we're not going to go into the whole step on me respectfully area or anything, or
That's
dommy
for sure.
mommy. This ain't a harem book, okay? That's
should
for
be.
another time. I don't know. I think James has a couple of harem books.
He does.
Yeah.
I haven't checked them out yet though.
They're on my. I think I actually have like 2 of them in my library. They're back in the backlog a little bit.
I would say let me borrow them, but they'd probably be sticky.
They're in the Audible account. They're not sticky. We don't kink shame here. This is a kink shame free zone.
I wasn't shaming nobody.
Hey, nothing wrong with it.
All right.
But for character development, I mean, Boyd does grow a little bit. Like he does. Like at first, he's a soldier. That's all he is. And then he starts talking about his past. You know, like him going out doing the keggers with his buddies when he was younger, running from the police. Like he was kind of a loose cannon a little bit. And then he joined the military, and that kind of straightened him out.
Yeah, I think that, like, as far as character growth, it didn't really go anywhere. He was a badass at the beginning, and he was a badass at the end.
He just didn't feel very humanized.
He learned the world is more of like what his character growth was. As far as character growth goes, though, I think Arturo had a huge character growth where we find him, he's like this drunken priest, and then he gets back into fighting monsters again, and
he's a good character. I think he's actually my favorite. If I had to say between Cal or Arturo, those 2 are probably my favorite. Boyd I guess this is probably one of the first books where I say I care more about the supporting characers than I do the main character.
Yeah, and that's fair.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people, we're going to use Dungeon Crawler Carl as an example. A lot of people care more about Donut or Mordecai or Katya than they do about Carl.
It's because Carl's character growth is just him slowly unraveling.
He's slowly going more insane. You'll get to Dungeon Crawler Carl at some point. It's once you open that can of worms, you're done for. You're gonna hate me even more.
Hold on, I have a thought.
Okay, hit us with the thought.
Okay, so you know how we said Boyd is strictly badass the whole time, right?
Go on.
So when he died from the grenade, he was just stuck in that mindset of a soldier.
And that is a good thing to point out. He died a soldier, came back to life as a soldier. The only time we really see him humanized at the very beginning, like he gave his life to make sure his teammates were saved. But
I think he kind of gets humanized at the end whenever they're like, okay, people aren't a shapeshifter anymore, and I can like relax. And like,
and I mean, he does have to be on edge because he doesn't know who he can trust. Because that does take away a little bit from what I look for in a main character. Is like he's humanized. He's not just an overpowered.
Trying to form relationships with everyone.
Right.
Right.
The only time we really see him humanized from start to finish is him jumping on the grenade and then him bringing Cal back, saying, "I want my buddy back.
Yeah.
He was a good kid. I want him back.
Yeah.
He didn't deserve to die." Because Cal's the first one to die. Because he gets shot in the head, I believe.
Yeah.
And then the God of Judgment, or the Face of Judgment, says he's not going to be real. He's going to be, like a spectral being. He's not going to be an actual person. So he goes into his own abyss every once in a while, does his own thing. There's a whole realm for him to deal with. He kind of reminds me of, what is that fucking goblin's name? Life Reset. His cape, the main character's like celestial being that's like part of the system. He's part of the, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That's who he reminded me of.
Okay.
Makes sense a little bit?
Yeah, it's sort of like
I can't think of his fucking name.
A guide. The AI for.
He's a part of the AI. He's a part of Gaia.
Like an AI clone of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of the kids. But take over.
Yeah.
It's gonna bug me.
I honestly don't know. Probably start wrapping up soon. I think we're about at an hour.
We can. The VI, Orin. Orin's the main character.
So yeah, I guess in summation, I love the series. I am excited to see where it goes. I am interested to see if Boyd's character grows more now that the shapeshifter threat is no longer a thing. I am excited to see what new monsters he fights and what new weapons he makes with those monsters. And yeah. What's your summation?
I think I have to agree. Like I said, it started warming up to me at the end when he did his respec and everything, and I was a little bit more excited to see how powerful he got, and he's trying new powers, and it's like, okay, he's trying to get the hang of it. So I'm like, all right, I'm starting to like it a little bit better, and then it finally started cooling off a little bit, and I'm like, oh man, I kind of wish there was a little bit more, just because now I'm ready for the second book. I'm ready for him to grow. I'm ready to see how his powers turn out and how he handles the whole world now.
Cool. Okay, wait. One question I want to ask is, what do you think of the torture he goes through every time he resets his ability?
It's fucking brutal.
Right? Like
That's brutal as shit.
Oh gosh. That's like his
Somebody
main
remind me what it
focus
was.
thing. So like basically whenever he gets his spells and stuff, they like get grafted onto like his soul or something. I don't know. And so whenever he changes those out, he has to like rip those out of his soul, and it's like extreme torture. And
Okay.
Yeah.
Soul forging.
Yeah. And pretty intense.
I will say, that James, when he was on our show that one time, he talked about he really wanted to do horror.
He could
And
write
so
a really
maybe
good
this,
horror, and I think
yeah,
this
so,
kind of goes
yeah.
into the horror. I honestly kind of wish we would have saved this episode for around Halloween, because this would have actually been a really good like spooky season series.
We're
We're at the
there.
we're at
Yeah.
the start of spooky season. It's already the first day.
all right,
of fall.
delete the episode, dude. We'll come back to it.
Well, we're gonna actually do a Halloween episode. I'm talking to a few authors, and we're gonna come on. We're gonna just talk, not specifically their work. We're gonna talk about other work in the series and or in the genre, and what would be a good horror idea for a lit RPG. Because
Right.
I have a
I
few,
think, yeah.
and I've begged my friend Anna to write one, because she said she could write a survival horror, and I said, please do. Please do. I will buy every copy of it. Please just write the
That would
damn
be
book.
awesome.
So, my initial thought, or my final thoughts, wrapping up before we start doing the closeouts and whatnot. The book is good. It's not bad in any way. There's stuff I don't like about it because it's just not for me or my taste, but that does not make it a bad book. It's really fun. The characters, it doesn't have the turmoil I was looking for, or the connection that I have with other characters and other series. But it's definitely not any of his weakest writing or anything like that. It's probably some of his best. But like I said, it's just not on my taste of the same meter. Luke's narration, he did a great job. It's because I'm used to it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm
Right.
excited. I'm excited to see where the series goes, because the
he's
next
a-
book actually comes
Me
out
too.
in November. Let me look up the release date really quickly.
Gunslinger.
The second one does
character,
already?
Which is right in like Luke's wheelhouse.
It's coming out. I'm looking up the release date right now, because I believe it's.
You said the second one for this one?
Yeah, the second one for this series is coming out. Vigil's Valor, which is book 2 in the series, is coming out November 15th.
Nice.
And yeah, he has his shotgun. It looks like he's fighting a chimera on the front cover.
That is pretty dope.
I'm excited because
Yeah, I'm ready for that one. I like that. That sounds a little bit more up my alley right there.
it's going to be good. And I know James is going to do a really good job with this series. He does a really good job with all of his books and his writing, and just how quickly he puts them out too.
Yeah.
So, because I mean, he puts out the Viridian Gate books like nothing. Like they're out quick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that series is finished. Celestial Citadel was the final book in the Rogue Dungeon series. So this is his new I think his new project. I remember him saying something that like his focus and everything was going to be on this. I'm not sure if he's still doing the side projects for Viridian Gate. I would love to see more. Go ahead.
How many books do you think he could do with this one?
At least 6.
I could, like I said, it's limitless potential. So basically, until he wants to kill off the main character.
Or just end the series in general.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I could honestly see this being a 6-book series because I want to say Viridian Gate was 6 books. Rogue Dungeon was 6 books. Honestly, if he just keeps putting series out, books 1 through 6, because there are some series that it's like, okay, we probably should get to the end soon that are still ongoing. But like, it gets really hard to do, but some authors can do it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't put more books out in a series, but
I think people or authors just get tired of writing the same story.
yeah, which we're not authors, so we don't know. But I mean, some series that go on for 10 to 15 books sometimes can be a little strenuous, I guess to say, but
I think it's just overwhelming starting them.
yeah,
Because I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, this is like a 15-book series. I'm not going to be able
I
to
agree
read
with that.
anything for like months. Anything else for
That's kind of
months?
like
me with He Who Fights with Monsters.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead, bub.
I was gonna say, well, like, usually when you have that many books, they start losing creativity and everything too. So it's just like, oh man, we could have just ended it over here long time ago, but we kept going because we're like, yeah, we might make it better and better, but you guys string it along too long and it just loses itself.
Zekor just commented, the issue with limitless power creep. The issue with limitless power creep is most main characters will never get to the very end of it, and that is true.
Yeah. There's a few series that I've seen them basically become gods, and it's so
World
worth
Keeper?
it. Yeah, World Keeper,
That's the first one that
Trap
comes to
Mine
mind.
Project. Yeah, there's a few finished series with like limitless potential, and
Honestly, I could
it's
see,
so good.
and I wouldn't mind this. I could see Joe becoming a god at some point.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So-
Yeah.
I mean, Rorik gets really powerful too, so it's just it's all about the pacing of the series, I guess, is where it comes down to with how many books I could see in the series. With the pacing of the first book, and with the first book being very heavy on the character development, or not character development, the world building, and kind of the system and everything, it gives me Rogue Dungeon vibes. I could see it being 6 books. Now, if he said, I'm going to do more than 6 books, I'll buy them all. Anything James puts out, I will buy.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
He has another series that he helps with. It's called Shadowcroft Academy, and it's about dungeon like monsters. It's really good. Another main character that is a military man, but like that one, I felt a little more relatable to him
Yeah.
in that series than I
He's
did.
a little more awkward just because of his race that
Yeah,
he gets.
he's a
but
mushroom.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that was one that he told me to check out because he said it was very funny and everything. But he also said it got bad reviews, and he loves it. He said he loves that people think it's so bad because he just had fun with it.
There's 2 books in the series, and they're really good. They're really good.
Yeah.
And I mean, James has sent me a couple of review copies, so I guess my opinion's a little biased, but I got a review copy for the
It
second
happens,
book
dude.
of the Shadowcroft Academy, and then I got a review copy of Rogue Dungeon Book 5. And I was already invested in Rogue Dungeon and Shadowcroft Academy, but they're really good. They're really, really good.
I'll have to check it out.
No.
Oh no, you coming through the phone now? Got disconnected? That's fine. We'll start wrapping up a little bit. So, now we're at the fun portion of the show of, hey, what have you been reading? So, hey, Joel.
Yeah.
What have you been reading?
So much. Honestly, yeah, it's been like
It's been 2 months since we had an episode, so let's
Yeah.
not go through
Well, I will
everything.
say some really, really good ones that I've listened to recently. Defiance of the Fall, I slept on that series.
Haven't started it yet.
Do not. It is amazing. Primal Hunter, also really good new series. Recently, though, I just finished reading Chrysalis, which is like the main character is an ant, and it reminds me a lot of the anime. So I'm reincarnated as a spider.
So what? I'm a
something
spider now.
Yeah. Uh, but for an ant, and yeah, that was another really fun one.
He Who Fights with Monsters.
He Who Fights with Monsters came out with a new book.
Oh, News Completionist.
New Completionist, yes, that was also just came out.
Artorian. We've had 2 books come out for Artorian since our last episode.
Yeah.
No, only one because we covered Asgard.
Okay.
Or not Asgard, Acolyte? Yeah, we did Acolyte.
Yeah. Well, we didn't cover it, but we
covered book
we
10.
did an
Well,
episode.
yeah. But we have the book 12 coming out in October, so hype. It's already pre-ordered, ready to go.
Rich, what you been listening to?
Well, hold on, I'll go last. Hohen, what have you been listening to?
Well, Fairy Tale by Stephen King. I finished that one before Vigil's Justice.
How was that?
That one. You know what? You're gonna have to listen to yourself, and you can find out. Because I don't really know how to explain it. It was good, but it wasn't like didn't remind me of like Stephen King good. Know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
And
his stuff is very hit or miss with me.
yeah, it didn't have too much horror in it at all. It really did focus on fairy tale, and it's like okay, this is all right. I listened to it though. It was like 24 hours of freaking Audible. So I was like, okay, that's a long one for me. But after that, I checked out Vigil's Justice, of course. And then now I'm on Ritualist and Solo Leveling part novel 4, I believe. Trying to get through those.
Okay. Sorry, we're having some more tech error issues. I'm not sure what's going on there because there was probably an echo. I apologize if anyone heard an echo. I'll listen to Stephen King's Fairy Tale at some point. It's on the list, but I mean I haven't really enjoyed a Stephen King novel probably since Doctor Sleep.
Oh, yeah.
So what the? Yeah, just restart your phone. Oh, that's gonna kick you out of the thing. It's gonna throw off the framing. Oh well, that's fine. We'll deal with it. So what I've been listening to though is I powered through the newest book in the Beginning After the End series, which is fantastic, narrated by Travis Baldree. Love Travis to death. Vigil's Justice I listened to twice. I'm currently reading A Snake's Rule. Or no, not A Snake's Rule. It's Snake's Life. It's the newest one. I think it's A Snake's Rule. It's part of the Snake's Life series. Really, really fun. Let's see, what else? Trying to think. I've gone through a lot. I'm just gonna have to pull at my Audible a little bit here. I apologize. Tokens and Towers 2
I'm not
came
gonna lie.
out. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm not gonna lie, dude. I got into this one random like romance, like sexy mystery novel
Harems.
like a
we
couple
love 'em.
months ago. And then I started reading like all 3 of them. They're like called Tangled or whatever. And I was like, I didn't know I was gonna be into this, but I am. Just a random.
So I did Reckoning, which is the newest book in the Beginning After the End. The Ripple System, book 3 came out, which is Glided Ghost and another really good series. The Storm's Rage by A.R. Holloway was really fun. I have an episode for that. It should be up on our YouTube. I'll have to double check. I did a little Bard's Tale, or not Bard's Tale, Silver Tongue episode with him, and that was a fun time. Mars System Reboot by Dave Wilmarth. I listened to that. It was really, really good. I'm caught up now on the Bad Guys series by Eric Uegland. I did listen to Foundations by Cale Plowman, which is his futuristic cyberpunk series. It's narrated by Andrea Parsons, and she is amazing at it. She does a really good job with that one. That's the one he told us was coming out on when we did the episode with him. Mm-hmm. And then I'm catching up on the Cradle series. I just need to actually do that. Alpha by
That was
Jez
a
Caggio.
good one, yeah.
Fantastic series. I can't wait for book 2 to come out. And then I caught up on all of my Harmon Cooper stuff. So, yeah. And then I just picked up Tower Apocalypse by Cassius Lang and Ryan Tang today. So, I'll be starting that one soon. Not sure when, but I'll be starting it very soon. So, that's what we've been... that's what I've been reading. But this brings us to our final portion of the evening and the episode. Honer, where can people find you?
Oh man, you can find us anywhere on social media. We're at Drunk with Buds podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We have a website. We never check it though. So it's called like Weebly.com, Drunk with Buds podcast. I have no idea. And we're on Untapped. If you guys like to find out what we're drinking, we can drink along with us, whatnot. We get all of our stuff from Devore. And if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Honer Creations. I make dumbass videos for dumbass people like me. And I'm also a social media guy for Drunk with Buds. So if you're talking to us, you're talking to me.
We learned that one real quick. Joel.
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter.
This room. I can find you in this room.
Sometimes. Yeah.
That's where I found you.
You can find me by reaching out through Richie. No.
Yeah, that's if you need to get a hold of Joel, the best way is to actually get a hold of me, because then I pass the information along to Joel. I'm the social media guy for the Stats on Stats, Twitter and YouTube and everything. So if you're talking to Stats on Stats, you're talking to me.
But yeah, across the internet, just to look up Sir Valor Hunter. I'm likely to be there.
I mean, that's your PlayStation handle. So if you want to play games with us,
yeah,
just
Xbox.
we don't really play on Xbox, really.
My controller got eaten by my dog, and
Yeah, because Ren chews on every damn thing. How many
so
pairs of headphones
I don't
have
have
gone
an
through?
Xbox controller anymore.
As long as she didn't do it to the PS5 controller, I'm good. Because I'd have killed her.
Right.
So, for me, you can find me at Rich Dolphus on Twitter. You can find me at the Stats on Stats Lit here on Twitter as well. Here on Twitch, you can find me at just Stats on Stats. You know, this channel that you're watching or possibly listening to. On PlayStation, my PSN name is just Rich Dolphs, so without the U, and then Lit RPG. So if you want to game with me, just send me a friend request. Tell me what games you play, and we probably get some game time in. I play a lot of Apex. I've been playing with SL Roland a lot recently, so getting that ranked time in on Apex and hating every portion of that game with every fiber of my being. So that's always a fun time. But we do streams on the channel here as well. We're going to get back into that a little bit more now that we've got our setup done. So it's going to we got a couple things for the channel. So I still haven't gotten any official replies on the Twitter post, so we have no winner yet for the giveaway. You just got to follow us and post a screenshot. At this point, it's the first person who does it. And you get all 5 books. Of
I'm going right now.
I mean, someone's gotta beat you. So, but for everything Lit RPG, this has been Stats on Stats. Our next episode is going to be with Justin Monroe to talk about his series, Z Locked In. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be 2 weeks from yesterday, so 13 days from now, we have that episode coming out. It's going to be a really, really fun time. Because that's
be a Monday episode?
No, it's a Sunday episode.
Okay.
It's a Sunday episode. We couldn't do yesterday because I worked and pulled that pretty much triple shift yesterday. Okay. So I'm still recovering from that.
I know what day it is.
You know what day it is. But this has been Stats on Stats. Honer, thank you so much for joining us. This was a really good time. Glad to have you on.
Thanks for having me, guys.
We'll have you back on again at some point. And James, if you're listening, yeah. Oh, how do you get into the giveaway? So you have to follow us here on Twitter, or you have to follow us on Twitch, and follow us on Twitter as well. And then just post a screenshot showing, hey, I'm following you on Twitch. Because we can just look at your profile and say, oh yeah, they're following us on Twitter too. That way we know who's who, and that's how you win. You get
First come, first serve now.
Yeah. So
they take a screenshot and then they send that
they
to you
take us
through.
They post it on the Twitter.
Post it on the Twitter.
Yeah,
There
post
you
it
go.
on. I have a thread saying, hey, there's still time to enter.
Yeah.
Just gotta do that. So it's easy. It's easy, and you're
Free.
getting
It's free.
it's
free.
free.
Stuff.
And as you can see, Zekor in the chat, free. Oh god, I have a headache now. I need to leave before Zekor breaks me because.
Now he's gonna.
And we
click
do have
that.
more giveaways to come. We have one for Dave Busham's series of Darklands Online, books 1 through 3. And then once Cyber Squad Level 3 comes out, I'll be giving away the entire series. And it looks like we already have it done. So just got to wait for that notification to come through, and then I will make the announcement.
Cool. All right.
Well, yep, we have a winner. High Crimes Podcast.
Heck yeah.
So we have a winner. I'll send you over the codes and everything, and you can start redeeming them. Congratulations. We're happy to have you on board the Lit RPG train because, hoo boy, you're in for a treat. But for everything Stats on Stats, we appreciate you all tuning in and listening. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and keep the grind going. Is it going to stop?